All right, welcome in everybody. We're like 5 minutes late, but you already know what it is. Time for college football, week 8, best bets with Paid for Play. Sam, Roddy, and JD coming at you live on Twitter at Paid for Play. Hit that link up in the title if you want to jump over to the YouTube page to be featured in today's show, where we run through the top 6 plays or 6 games that we felt we should give you our best bets and breakdowns on, plus our full slate. So make sure you like, retweet, follow, and sub for today's episode. But Sam, how we feeling?
Uh, it's a great day, man. I think we're all hurting a little bit this morning, fighting through, but LSU's got another big game today, fresh off a nice win on the road. One of the best college football Saturdays in my lifetime, I think, last week. So I don't think we're going to get the same energy this week, but it's going to be hard to follow up last weekend. But I'm ready to go. It's going to be a fun day.
Roddy, how we feeling?
Well, I know I have on different colors today, okay? And this is the only week you're going to see this because, I've been having strong feelings about the team in Baton Rouge. We'll talk about it when we get there, but I'm doing well, making it through. Bye week for the dogs. So, the dogs are resting. We're in the house sleep. But like I told the guys before the stream started, next week I'm going to be belligerent. And I just want everyone on this stream to know that. I'm going to be absolutely belligerent, okay? The rivalry runs through my veins. And what wakes me up in the morning is the straw that stirs the drink, okay? So be ready. I'm just telling y'all that right now. Be ready, because I'm going ape shit.
Promise. I love that I've converted two of the three guys on this show, because I know Rex is a closet LSU fan now. And now we got Roddy for this week too. We love it.
I couldn't even see you on my phone because it's so small that he is rocking an LSU shirt. Bad look. Not a good look for anyone trying to have some blackmail over Roddy. But JD, we know it's early. You started the week early with the DFS picks on Thursday night. How we feeling?
We're doing all right. Enough LSU propaganda on this show. If Sam tries to convert me, I've rooted enough for Brian Kelly in my lifetime. I no longer have to cheer on that grumpy man. So I'm staying put for now.
He's going to take some time, but we'll get there. Don't worry.
A Southern man, Brian Kelly.
So we got the 6-pack of games. Maybe it's not as crazy or as high name of a slate as last week was, but we still got a bunch of ranked, unranked matchup and a bunch of value to be found throughout the board here today. So our man Goose can't be with us today. He's got some family stuff going on, probably scared since Rutgers is laying 3 points at home against IU. I don't know if that game's going to be in anyone's best bets card, but you're more than welcome to be laying the IU money line if you think it, since he's a no-show.
I'll be at IU today, but so there's a good chance of a money line play, a little hungry dog run faster. But every time I go to IU, I bet money line somehow in whatever game they're playing, and it never works out well. So
sounds like you're the one with the peer pressure problems.
Yeah,
big time.
Sure.
All right, we got the first game on the slate, 14 at number 5. If you're not looking at the numbers, 14.5-point spread, because I guess we have to be nicer to DJ at this point, where might not look the best each week, but he's getting the job done. And this is the big part where the defense has to show up. And other than maybe one small hiccup on their schedule, the defense has been playing at a top 15 rate. JD, we'll start with you here. Does Dino's boys got it in them today?
I'm not going to bet him for the simple fact that we've discussed on this show. I remember even going back week 1 when they're playing Georgia Tech, right? And I said, hey, I think Clemson's undervalued this year. They were severely overvalued all of last season. The books took a big hit. And I said, hey, this year, I mean, everyone expects them to be better, and the books just aren't lining them that way. And that's been the case. They've been destroying the spread, average cover margin of over 8 points in the last 3. So I think the books have finally caught on, because this 13.5-point spread, I mean, they're not pulling any punches this week for sure. And when I'm looking at the matchup, man, I mean, the stats tell me that Syracuse, there's for sure value on Syracuse, right? They're 8th offensively in my metrics and 13th defensively. They performed very well on both sides of the football, whereas Clemson's 23rd defensively, 34th offensively. So the numbers tell you that Syracuse is the better team. Am I believing that? I mean, not exactly, right? I just think that the deal with Clemson is they're supposed to have that elite defense, and they allowed 5.2 yards per play to Furman. They allowed 460 yards to Florida State. They got absolutely torched by Wake Forest. And at this point, it's like, look, we all know that Clemson has the pieces, but betting on a team to cover a 2-point spread against a really good Syracuse team, that's not me. That's for sure not me this week. So I'm laying off. I actually have a lean on Syracuse on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll second that. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I think we were really all on NC State for that matchup. Was that 2 weeks ago or last week? And they made us eat shit. So I'm not opposed, to them covering the spread, but it's just Clemson's offense. It still hasn't, it hasn't woken up, man. Like they are winning games, they are covering, but it just seems like it's so much harder than it has to be. And you can tell, the program's just not at the same place that it was 2-3 years ago. So it is what it is. But going into this game, I'm staying away too. If anything, I would take the 14.5 just because that's way too many points. And Clemson hasn't shown me enough times this year, especially against competition that they're supposed to be better than, that they can, pull it out. So I would lean Syracuse too, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. I mean, every Clemson game kind of gets that way at some point. Just this offense, it goes stagnant for a little bit, but then they get out of their rut and find out a way to cover every game, it feels like. So, yeah, I took Clemson earlier this week when the number was still below 2 touchdowns, 13.5, jumped up as of today, I believe. So I'm not going to base anything off last week. Like Syracuse, they played good at home, but on the road, I want to see it before I believe it. And I'm going to take the better team here and lay that Clemson minus 13.5.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're getting the wrong side of 14, I think you have to side with Syracuse here. But if you're getting it short of 13 or right at that 13 mark, I think it has to be the Clemson side, but it could be too close for comfort for most of it. Early start at noon. What we got for number 2? Ooh, the Quinn Ewers agenda. How strong will it get after this week? Going to Oklahoma State, laying a flat 6. So no respect for the Pokes today. Roddy, started off with here because we know you could be rocking a Ewers t-shirt soon if he becomes the Falcons quarterback, right?
The Falcons? No, what? Hell no.
The Saints. Sorry, the Saints. My bad.
Then I will.
You were just at the Falcons game. My bad.
That I will be. I'll actually get the same Quinn Ewers haircut. I'll get a mullet. I swear to God, I will. If anything to save me from that awful football team. I know, JD. I don't know how it's gonna work either, but I'm gonna do it. Okay. I need a new quarterback. Do y'all know Texas hasn't won 4 straight games in 4 years? Like, I did not know that at all. Like, that was baffling to me. They haven't played well on the road. They haven't played well at Oklahoma State on the road either. I do believe in Quinn. I think he was a little rusty last week. Obviously Iowa State is, again, on my 3 of the Big 12. I don't fuck with them list just because their variance is all over the damn place. But I think he's going to get a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, Oklahoma State doesn't do a lot of playing defense. But I would actually take the 6 here just because it's on the road. If it was at DKR, maybe I would take the 6 with the Longhorns. But again, they haven't won 4 games in 4 years, 4 straight games in 4 years. Like, that's really wild to me. And I know that doesn't matter. This year's team is different. But God, are we believing in Spencer Sanders again, man?
Not with his current health at this point, because I think that's the only reason why you have it at a flat 6 here. Because if he was fully good to go and not banged up from that last game, I think you'd be seeing more of a 4.5 number. Sam, what do you like for it?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with Texas. I will not, like I said last week, Spencer Sanders is just someone I like to fade. Watching him in the second half of that game last week, it was awful. Like they just shit down their leg and like they just completely blew that game. And if that's the Spencer Sanders I'm going to get for this full game, I definitely like Texas has been good whenever they've stepped up in competition this year. They played down a little bit. I mean, they played to their competition, and like the Oklahoma game, they absolutely destroyed Oklahoma. They probably would have won the Alabama game with Ewers for the full game, but no way of telling that. But yeah, I'm gonna lay the 6. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I think Bijan Robinson goes off today. But yeah, I'm gonna lay the 6. JD, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with Texas too. I wrote this one up for covers if you want to check it out. But I mean, Oklahoma State's resume is like, dude, paper mache, man, paper mache. Severely outgained by Baylor, severely outgained in their next game, outgained by 120 yards in TCU. Couldn't move the ball from 10 minutes on in the second quarter. Right, Roddy had the team total over bet. It was like just ridiculous.
Painful,
extremely painful. Speaking of painful, Spencer Sanders is banged up. Yes, that does matter because they couldn't move the ball at all with him banged up last week. So it definitely matters for a Texas team that's been really good on both sides of the ball. Texas is 9-1 under Steve Sarkisian when they outrush their opponent. Winds of 23 miles per hour. They're going to outrush Oklahoma State, who hasn't been able to run the ball all year, averaging 3.3 yards per carry in Big 12 play. And their defense has taken the biggest step back of any defense in the entire country without Jim Knowles. I don't see why Texas doesn't roll them in this matchup. I'm going to take the team total over for Texas, by the way. Win be damned. Bijan's having a huge game. Xavier Worthy's taking screen passes to the house. This Oklahoma State defense has been terrible. So 32.5, give me the over.
Yeah, I just am too scared to lay the 6 on the road. It's essentially as much as it is. It seems like a nice live spot opportunity if you're not to see the health of Sanders real quickly there to see if they'll be rolling it on the road. 3.
I was trying to find if there was any value to Spencer Sanders or not Spencer Bijan 2+ touchdowns there. I mean, I'm sure like I know his actual anytime touchdown is going to be way too juiced, but maybe 2+ touchdowns.
I was looking at that one. He probably gets there. The thing with him is he'll probably get like a receiving one, right, with wins. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he probably is going to score 3 touchdowns in this game. Go for like 150. I mean, I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
I like that play also. I'm not going to make it official play, but I'm going to lean towards that. Third game, UCLA going to Oregon. Chip Kelly's return. Rex, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, give me the Bruins +7.
Rat and the cheese.
I already know the rest of the mantra of the Roddy and Sam is going to be Bo Nix season, but I ain't trusting them in this big spot here. DTR, hopefully he's 100% or close enough to it because just like the last game, the backup doesn't move it as well as it is, but I'm trusting Chip in this big spot here.
Okay. You're like they're begging you to take UCLA, I feel like, this week.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
They are begging you.
I took a full line sinker. I've seen enough times, and if I was too scared to lay I'd rather lay Texas with the 6 and take Bo Nix with the 7. So
JD, we'll stay with you. I mean, Pac-12, you got anything?
I would just say if they're in any other conference, I'd be calling both these teams, they're on fraud alert, basically. So they're playing each other. We saw Oregon play one good team against Georgia, and we saw what happened. And then UCLA, I guess they played Utah, and they played well in that one. But I just think I'm not a believer in UCLA overall. Like, I think they have Charbonnet and DTR, and I don't think they have anything outside of that. I don't think they have any strengths. When the defenses they're going to get tested tonight. Or today, I think it's a noon kickoff local. It's a paper mache defense, right? They put together through the transfer portal. They got guys from Wyoming and North Texas. The Murphy brothers are actually pretty good, but The defense hasn't been tested, man, and they still rank outside like the top 80 in a lot of my metrics, playing nobody. They should have lost to South Alabama. I mean, that's a bigger red flag than getting blown out by Georgia, because that's a weird game in the opener in Atlanta. Like, at least we could give Lanning a little bit of a pass for that one. So I think Oregon's the rightful favorite. Am I going to lay 7 points? Hell no. This should be a back and forth game. UCLA is going to need some DTR magic in this one, and he's been magical this season. So there's no way I'd lay over 7 points. So I do like that play. Like, if it's 3, this is a different conversation. I think there's line value on UCLA for sure. Trust and Chip in a big game is not something I want to do, but hey, they looked pretty damn good against Utah in their biggest game this year. So
yeah, Roddy, you got anything?
Yeah, I haven't obviously bet Oregon since the Wazoo game, and if anyone remembers that, it was just an awful experience for me. Awful experience. Got everything I wanted and then taken away automatically. I don't really like to trust Chip either. I think they are going to score points. I've been, specifically kind of looking at the team total. It's at 33.5 and it's plus 110. I totally understand that, this is going to be a back and forth matchup, of course, since the number's at 71. But I think Oregon's going to be able to run the ball, which, of course, like you said, Rex, we don't want to believe in Bo Nix. We really don't, at all. But I think, I'm going with the same strategy as when they play Wazoo. I think they'll be able to run the ball and throw it when they have to, because UCLA secondary is, I don't really love it. So I wouldn't take the 7 either way, honestly. I would probably go for the cash and take over 33.5 points with UCLA. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Like, I think both teams are going to probably score 35 plus. So I could see like a 48 to 41 game. It's going to be crazy. So yeah, give me the point total over 33.5.
I'm riding the Bo Nix roller coaster, man. I mean, Bo Nix at home,
by yourself.
Okay. At home, he's a better quarterback. That's just factual. Over his 4 years in college, he's played better at home. This opened at 4.5, and UCLA is, I think, the most bet team in the country from sports books across the country. And this line has only jumped up to 7. So I'm staying away from the cheese. I think they're begging you to take UCLA. I'm going to ride Oregon, lay the 6. I got 6.5 yesterday. I'd play the 7. I just think they're the better team. I think it's UCLA's first road test, and they're actually playing in front of a good amount of fans for the first time this year. I think that Oregon crowd's going to be a little juiced up to see Chip Kelly return for the first time. So, give me Oregon big here.
Oh, so Sam, we doing a lunch bet then?
I'll do a lunch bet.
Ooh.
Word. We'll do the 6.5 lunch bet. I got the official on the plus 7, but we'll make a 6.5 lunch bet.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm doing that.
Love it.
All right. Next one.
Ooh, 21-point spread. Oh no, that's the one after this. We got to make Sam go last on here. So we'll make Roddy the LSU expert, since he's seen them in person this year. Ole Miss coming to town. Ratty line for sure. What's it, 3:30? Is LSU Stadium different during the day than it is at night? Is it not a 3-point home favorite then?
It'll be a night game.
Roddy, you tell me.
Second half.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So some go down later on. It's 6:37. Look, they were up at 10 o'clock in the morning singing that Baton Rouge song, Rex. So I don't think it's any different. I think it's pretty loud.
Singing
still.
they get rolled.
Yeah. Look, the line, you were speaking of the line. So the line, I think it started out like -2 for Mississippi or for Ole Miss, and it reversed like all the way to 2.5 to LSU, and now it's down to a pick 'em again. So this is probably one of those games that's going to ruin my life again. Not going to lie, but I think that the performance LSU gave last week was encouraging because the offense finally looked like they were competent. I know Florida's defense isn't anything to show for at all, but it at least y'all were moving the ball consistently. And there was consistency on offense without those, like, back-breaking mistakes, and penalties and shit like that. So I'm going with LSU, man. I'm taking the -1. I think that, of course, the line is janky as hell, but Ole Miss has been begging to lose for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Like, they have been absolutely begging to lose because they cannot play defense. Like, it just doesn't exist. Obviously, Lane's going to have a team that puts points on the board. Like, that's what he's going to do. So I think if you're looking at the over, that would be a good look too. But I'm going with LSU, man. I think they're going to win today. I think it's going to set up for a very interesting matchup on November 5th in Baton Rouge. A very, very interesting matchup. There could be 2 of the big dogs that have 2 losses. So we'll see what happens. But I think today is the day that they have to start that journey, obviously. So give me LSU -1. That's all I got.
JD, what do you got for us here? Because I know you love your Ole Miss.
I do like Ole Miss, but this just isn't a very good spot for them. The home teams have been rolling, man. Home teams have been absolutely rolling, especially in ranked matchups. So I think, if anything, I'd have to trust the money coming in on the home team here. I think they're going to be able to run the ball at home, and I think that's going to make a big difference. Ole Miss's defense, right? A lot of people said some good things about them. I said some good things about them early in the year. Tulsa had 457 total yards on them. Auburn, 6.8 yards per play on them, and Vanderbilt had over 400 total yards. So, I think LSU is going to be able to move the ball. LSU's 15th in line yards. Ole Miss's defensive line 76th in line yards. So I think they're going to be able to move the ball. You just need a good game from Jaden Daniels. My thing with Jaden Daniels, man, like, he looks absolutely excellent some weeks, and then he just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing some weeks. So you just need a competent game out of Jaden Daniels, and this should be another Brian Kelly win, close win.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sam, you're allowed to speak now.
Well, I going into the week, I mean, I've been like I've had an affinity for Ole Miss over the last couple of years. Like, they've just been fun to watch. Like, I like Lane Kiffin, but yesterday I saw something that just made me turn. They did the uniform drop with the set it off, and that was a no-go for me. You can't, yeah. So now, I mean, it's over. Like, I just the infatuation is
offended.
over. I hated it. It made me so mad, and that's exactly what they were trying to do. And if that's what they were trying to do, it worked.
They got you, brother.
So, like, look, we've been on this all year. Ranked teams on the road as an underdog, the home team that's unranked usually covers, and we've hit that a couple times. It happened with Washington earlier this year. And Ole Miss, just like UCLA, is one of the most bet teams in the country today. And that line has only, like, it's gone on the other side of 0, and now LSU is a favorite. So the money, or the sharps, are coming in on LSU. Biggest thing for me here is Jackson Dart has never played in an environment like this. Like, I think I looked it up before the show. Washington State, Arizona State, Cal, Georgia Tech, and Vanderbilt are the only places he's started on the road. And whenever this is just a whole different environment. Like, he's going to actually have to play in front of like real crowd. And like, I believe in LSU. I don't think that, like, what happened last week is something that was not repeatable. Like, Jaden Daniels just finally started taking shots down the field. Like, they've been there all year, and he just finally started trusting the receivers. And if that's going to happen, like, it's going to be a whole different quarterback, whole different offense. And this offense is actually going to look competent, like Roddy said. So I believe in LSU's ability to put up points in this game. I think Ole Miss comes in overvalued from the rankings perspective. Like, who have they beaten this year? They've snuck by some games. They're 7-0. That's great for them, but they haven't been tested, and this is the first test, and I think they're going to fail that test.
I like it. All right, let's get to the 21-pointer now, I believe.
Yes.
Cool. So Mike Leach has done very well against Saban so far since joining the conference, right?
No.
I think they scored 9 total points in their 2 matchups.
They haven't scored double digits since he's been there at all.
Yeah, over the last 4 years, I think the breakdown was 38-4 in terms of like the average margin in this game. So they haven't scored, or Mississippi State hasn't scored the last 2 times they've gone to Alabama. I know 1 year was with Moorhead instead of Leach, but still, I think Alabama rolls in this one. I would hate to be a Mississippi State fan having to play Alabama after last week. Like, I'm going back to death taxes. Alabama first half, Alabama full game. Like this one, you can't come back with a stinker after the way they played last week. Roddy,
JD,
you got
any
anything?
reasonable? I was going to say, JD can give us the reasonable talk here because I know Roddy's going to be rolling with lay the tide.
I mean, this is probably going to be one of the clips you can probably like cut up and play it afterwards, right? But like, I think people are looking at this Alabama team as something that they're not. Okay, they haven't been good. They just have not been good. I think it's that simple. They haven't been good. Okay, are they going to be good? Are they going to turn it on? We all know they're going to turn it on, but sitting around and waiting for a team to turn it on. Like we were saying that against Texas A&M. Oh, they're going to be fired up after last year and what Jimbo's been talking shit. And they look terrible against Texas A&M. And then you're going to say, well, Jalen Milroe was in there. Yeah. Okay. But they just haven't played like an entire team here. Am I going to bet a Mississippi State team? I think like the air raid thing is very important, right? If you can't provenly beat how a team plays you, then you could just put up a total dud like they did against Kentucky, right? And they put up total duds against Alabama. So that's enough for me to think. I mean, Alabama probably does bounce back, right? But until they actually look legitimate, like, because even if they blow Mississippi State out here, it's like, well, you do that every year, right? The air raid thing's kind of unique. It's like beating a triple option team. You know how to stop it or you don't, like the wing tee in high school, right? So they know how to stop it. So they should be Alabama rolling. But, yeah, no, you got to prove it to me, Alabama. Like, they don't look good. Like, Texas didn't look good. Texas A&M didn't look good. They haven't looked good at all whatsoever. So,
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, damn it. All right. I'm going, and if you want to look on what I wrote on the show sheet, I said, and you can tell Caitlin this too, Brex, Bama, everything. Bama first quarter, Bama first half, and Bama full game. Okay. And you were mentioning you hate, you'd hate to be a Mississippi State fan. They got Bama 2 years in a row off a loss because they got them last year when they lost to Texas A&M, and they absolutely smoked them. Bryce is going to be straight. He's not going to have to do a lot. And we spoke about this last week with the game with Tennessee. The way to beat Alabama is to threaten them and stretch the field. And Mississippi State is more of a, catch the ball underneath, get some yak type of school. I know Mike Leach is going to throw the ball a lot, but I don't trust Will to test the secondary, even though the secondary obviously has not been impressive for Alabama whatsoever. But, bro, they're going to be able to run the ball. Like, there's going to be no stopping. Like, if you want to do Jahmyr Gibbs 3 touchdowns today, I would not blame you. Like, they're going to absolutely pummel them. I don't see this game being any semblance of close. I don't know how Alabama gets to play like 9 night games a year either. That's kind of weird to me. But it is what it is. So, yeah, give me Bama literally everything, bro. Like first quarter, first half, full game. And the team total, I think, is only at 41. I might take that too because they're going to get smoked today. They're going to get smoked. So, sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, if we're waiting for the team just to flip the switch, if the defense doesn't, I think Miss State's team total sitting at 19 today. If they get 3 touchdowns, then I might be a little bit concerned. Other than that,
yeah, I would be concerned.
We'd be straight. But what's the last game that we got on the docket for today?
Another ranked matchup. K-State going to TCU.
Ooh, K-State always seems to play spoiler to the undefeated Big 12 team right about at this point of the season. K-State has the offense where they're probably just going to try to have as many 15-play drives as much as possible and just keep dugging off the field. 3.5-point spread. Who's got to play on this one, Sam? No
I don't
play,
know.
no CVS receipt.
No, I mean, I have 10 plays today, but TCU isn't one of them yet. I mean, the liquor's going to be flowing later, so I mean, I'm in a betting state, so there's a good chance that TCU gets played. But I don't know. Like, they've been squeaking them out. They squeaked one out last week. They looked awful in the first half. And like you said, TCU or K-State always seems to play spoiler. I don't know, that rushing attack, it just feels like they're going to be able to control the ball, control the clock, keep TCU's offense off the field. I just hope we get some points. I mean, TCU's been really fun to watch. I think the Big 12 has been really fun to watch overall. But yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I don't like TCU. I don't like Case. I don't like a side, and I can't lay either side in this one. He's on mute.
All right, what are you laying here?
Yeah, I think the first team to play defense for like 3 possessions will win this game. I think obviously TCU's offense has been humming. And like Greg said, K-State loves to play spoiler. Usually it's Oklahoma, but obviously they have another one of the Rileys, that's coming in to play spoiler too. So I have nothing on this game, dog. Like, I'm gonna watch it for sure because it's gonna be amazing. But I can't go either way either. I would look at the total to see if it moves because I do think this will be higher scoring than 54.5 points. But in terms of a side, man, I can't. Big 12 football, especially in these 3 weeks or 2 weeks leading up to November, it gets kind of wonky. So I'm already trusting Spencer Sanders. I can't do it twice. So I'm staying away from this game.
JD, are you rocking with Duggan?
Hell no. Hell no. No, it's Max Duggan.
That's simple.
He's had a few good games against terrible defenses. It's the Sonny Dykes offense. He'll have a few more good games. He might put up some stats, but hell no, I'm not believing in Max Duggan. The kid is erratic. No, Big 12 is the conference of chaos this year. It's the most fun conference. You never know what's going to happen. You're giving me 3.5 points with a Kansas State team that, they could be the better team here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're just flat out the better team. I think they're going to run the ball. Adrian Martinez, Deuce Vaughn. TCU's defense hasn't been good this year. They've had a few tough games back-to-back, whereas Kansas State's coming into this one rested. Deuce Vaughn was banged up, gets a week to heal. You might say running backs don't matter, but you haven't watched Kansas State if you say that. It's like saying Derrick Henry injury wouldn't matter to Tennessee, right? So, give me Kansas State plus 3.5. Let's go.
I like it. And we'll probably get the purple on purple today as well. Before we get into all of our full cards, the best bets, JD, you got any player props or anything of that nature you want to get into?
The slate this week is not very pretty, to be honest with you. I don't have a ton. Prize Picks is where I'm looking at this week. Bijan Robinson. We talked about him. He's going over everything. 22 fantasy points. He's going over. He averages more than that. Should be a big game. Windy day. They're going to rely on him. What else do I have? I have Devin A-Chain, Texas A&M running back. He's going against South Carolina. That defense isn't very good. I like the 17 points. They might start a true freshman quarterback, so they're going to rely on A-Chain. So I like him going over.
No, Haynes got announced the starter.
They announced Haynes the starter. They said he's healthy. They announced him.
Yeah, I think they announced that earlier this week.
Could have a quick leash though. I like Mayer 13.5 fantasy points going against UNLV. I watched UNLV in person. They couldn't cover the backup San Jose State tight ends. They couldn't cover them. Dudes you'd never heard of. Okay, Michael Mayer. You've heard of that dude. It's Halloween season. He's coming, baby. Get scared. Casey Filkins, Stanford running back, over 18.5 fantasy points. I mean, they're playing Arizona State. That's a terrible defense. Casey Filkins. This dude got like 35 touches last week against Notre Dame, okay? Arizona State, their defense is not as good as Notre Dame, all right? So that should be pretty easy to hit. And then last one, I think to round out a lineup, somebody else mentioned Deuce Vaughn, 18.5 fantasy points. Give that kid some respect. He's going to get fed this week. PPR touches. He's all about it. So that's what I'm rocking with this week.
All right. I like it. Since I know I got good service right now, I can run through and start it off with my set of plays because, JD, you said it's gross. I got a gross six-pack for you today.
Yeah, mine's
Liberty
disgusting.
+7, -110 with BYU coming into town. Give me the 7. It's a Hugh Freeze. I'm moving to the SEC or somewhere else after this season game. They might win outright to even solidify it more, but I'll take the full touchdown. I got the UCLA at +7 as well. Oh,
As he said, he gets
the service is gone, Rex.
It's a little nervous, brother. The service is nervous. Oh yeah.
Oh man. Roddy, give us your gross card while we get Rex back.
Yeah, look, while we're getting Rex back, like I told y'all, Bama everything. First quarter, first half, full game. Take the team total if you wanted to. I'm telling y'all, like, and people think that I'm kidding when I say, like, if Saban loses 2 games, like, again, well, if he loses 2 games this year, maybe
again,
2 games
he
next
lost 2 games last year.
Oh yeah, if he loses 2 games, then people are gonna be in front of his house. You remember, like, the house that they bought for him? Y'all remember that when that happened? Like, yeah. So Alabama's not playing with him. Okay, so taking everything on Bama. That's just the story. LSU -1 is down to 1 now. -105 again. Like, I think you're going to get defense from LSU. That's one thing we've seen, even though it hasn't been the greatest in the world. I think it's going to be just enough to stop Ole Miss. And again, like, Ole Miss has been begging to lose against teams that are trash. Like, to have Auburn score more than 21 points on you is disgraceful. I don't care what that is. So I'm going with the Tigers today, obviously. This is the grossest one I have. Okay, get ready because it's nasty. I'm taking Iowa under 4.5 points in the first half. It's really gross. 4.5 is one of the most random numbers we're going to bet all year. Okay. But trust me, if this team gets 2 field goals, I will jump in a lake. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I will be shocked. They will have to literally, completely fail on special teams. I think if Iowa was at the crib, I would be more inclined to see them be a little more alive, but no, at the horse, no, they're not doing that. And then to round it out, I got UCLA team total 33.5. It's at +110. I really think it's going to be a lot of points. Chips is going to want to come out and, obviously show that, he can survive without Oregon, because I guess some people, of course, Oregon made him. He had the most success of his career there, but I think he's an egotist, so he's definitely going to want to shit on them. And that's it.
Rex, we got your back.
Yeah, should we try
Yeah,
again?
go for it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Liberty +7, UCLA +7. I'm pretty sure you heard both of those. Cincy -3.5, laying it. SMU's the dead horse walking. JD, you alluded to a team that has shown constantly they can't stop something. I'm taking the Houston Navy over 50. I don't think Houston will ever be able to stop an option or a rushing. They 30 every single time this season. I'm pretty sure Houston's lowest total so far is like in this low 60s. Sure, you get the Service Academy, but I think Navy has no problem scoring. South Carolina +3, -110. Really don't want to talk about that one, but we're rolling with the Gamecocks. And then the Hungry Dog, UTEP on the money line, +146. Back-to-back weeks, we're going against the FAU Owls.
There we go. Gross one indeed. JD, what do you got?
I don't have a lot, man. This slate, I'm trying to find plays. So I don't have as many player props as normal, right? I DFS lineups, I only have 2. Usually I'm playing too many to count. It's just a weird slate. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I only got 3 plays. I already mentioned that most of them. I got Kansas State +3.5. You give me the hook. Sure, why not? Texas team total 32.5. Man, Texas has been good. I'm just gonna say that they've just been really good. Oklahoma State's defense, They've been really bad. I don't care if it's windy. They got a good rushing attack, right?
I did find those props, by the way. Bijan over 1.5 rushing touchdowns plus 175. Receiving touchdowns over 0.5 on receiving for Bijan is plus 425, and I took both of those.
Plus 425?
Plus
Why?
425.
That's stupid. Play that. It's irresponsible to not play that.
I
like that. It's windy. It's 25 miles an hour. This kid's a stud. He's going to go 60 yards to the house, most likely, if he gets a few catches. Last play, Akron versus Kent State, over 65.5. There's no defense in the MAC, all right? We're going to see some big scores. Kent State, their overall efficiency numbers are bogged down because they're playing the Oklahomas and the Georgias and the yada yadas. So they're playing Akron this week, folks. Akron, Georgia, right? A little bit of a different ball game here. So Kent State's going to absolutely hang a number, and Akron's offense has actually been pretty good. So I think that one's going to sail over. That's all I got. That's my 3-pack.
Sam, do you have a Penn State play in there? Because no one's talked about the trap that is the Penn State-Minnesota game.
Yeah, man. I'd lean Minnesota, but it's the whiteout. You know, I'm not going to go against.
It's the back-to-back sandwich spot too.
Yeah, I know. I really like Minnesota. I just don't have it as an official play. I'm not going to go against the whiteout on an official play. It goes against everything. Like, it's one of the best home environments. I think they still maybe find a way to cover, but I don't know. I have no feel in that game. I'll recap what we already gave out. Clemson minus 13.5, LSU minus 1.5, Oregon minus 6.5, Texas minus 6.5, Alabama first half, Alabama full game. And then I like another play in the LSU game. Kayshon Boutte over 51.5 receiving yards. Last time he played Ole Miss, I understand it's not the same Ole Miss team. He set the SEC record for receiving yards at 308 yards. So 51.5 seems disrespectful. He looked great last week. He looked involved. I think Jaden Daniels is going to continue to try to feed him the ball. Over 50.5 or 51.5 seems like it could cash in the first half. And then I'm with Rex or South Carolina +3. Fuck Texas A&M. We're going to continue to fade them. I hate those frauds. So +3 might be a little hungry dog action later in the bars. What? Is this factual?
I see.
I need a fact check.
Hold on. Let's see. I'll look it up. Hold on. That might change things. That's probably why the line been going down.
Son of a bitch. But yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll go Ohio State minus 29 or minus 29. Got it earlier this week. I don't see how Iowa scores in this game. I think Ohio State's going to roll, even though they have a little bit of a look ahead spot to the Penn State game next week. Just get in, get out. I still think they win by 35. Then we'll close it out. Kansas, Baylor, over 58.5. I don't care if there's wind in Texas or at Baylor. I don't care if it's going to be a windy game. Kansas's defense is awful, but they are the most fun team they're one of the most fun teams in the country to watch. They give up points. There's a lot of points in all the games. They gave up 400 passing yards and 300 rushing yards to Oklahoma last week. Their defense is awful, but they're going to put up points as well. I don't trust Baylor's defense this year as much as I did last year. I know Dave's a great defensive coach, but still don't like him to slow down Kansas, and I think they're going to be able to put up points as well. So give me the over 58.5, and that will. Do we have any facts, Roddy? Because I'm freaking out.
I don't see anything. I looked at Pete Thamel.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't see anything. I don't know.
Okay, unless 50 Ball has some inside knowledge.
Well, your sources. Hold on, I'm about
we
to
appreciate that.
my
You
LSU
do have those
sources.
sources.
Drop the sauces if true. I mean, oh, thank God. Okay, there we go.
All right. Oof.
All right, so we're still on LSU, and we're still on over 51.5.
Oh yeah, look, we still on LSU. I mean, I was gonna still be on LSU if he was playing or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't have felt great if Kayshon's not in the game. But yeah, anybody got anything else? I think we're gonna wrap. If so, I got to get on the road to Bloomington. Rex, JD, Roddy, y'all got anything?
Next week.
Negative. Sunday morning quarterbacks tomorrow. Make sure to be tapped in.
Yep, next week's a big one. If LSU wins this week, November 5th is going to be a fun show for Roddy and me because it'll be 2 battles for first place in each division. Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Alabama, same day. That'll be a fun one. Everybody, go enjoy your Saturday. Drink lots of beer, and let's all go win some money. Deuces.
Peace.